Recently, downsizing my gear has become incredibly important to me. Now, this is not a video about trying to sell you more gear. This is all about me solving a real world problem, something that happened to me that made me scared for my livelihood and made me worry if I could continue doing what I did and forced me to look at downsizing. But at the beginning of the summer, I had a back injury. And if I can help some of you on the way, not injure yourselves, not hurt yourselves, then I really hope it helps you. The doctors who treated me in the hospital told me it was quite likely I'm gonna have ongoing back issues for the rest of my life. I need to be careful. And I've been exploring every option, looking at cameras, looking at bags, looking at the microphones I carry. So it's July 2025. I've been inundated with work. I'm struggling even to catch up. I wake up one morning and I'm in this agonizing pain. It keeps getting worse and worse, and I'm practically crying as I'm walking, daggering out of the house to get in an Uber, and I head to hospital. He must know that something's up, because I think we must have run a few red lights, never gotten there that quickly. I sit in a waiting room for quite some time. The pain's getting worse and worse. They gave me the strongest painkillers I think I've ever been on in my entire life. The first time I took them, I felt kind of a bit high and spaced out. It was quite fun. And it did cut out the pain, but I was out of action for quite a while. You wouldn't believe what happened after that. I got COVID, I missed my son's birthday. It was a pretty awful summer. So that led me to the topic of this video. That catalyzed me to go and search for the lightest weight, highest power equipment I could possibly find to make sure that I could still do this thing I love. And I wanted to tell you that story to just heighten how important this is for me. Going out there and working with all these crazy cool clients I have, but not break my back doing the process and not leave myself with constant permanent pain. This is a kit that works really well for me, both balancing again, this kind of stuff and professional work. I'm working again, which is good, earning money. It got scary there for a second.
Now, I wanted to stress that I'm not just going to be chucking out my whole Sony kit, and I'm still going to be using it for some of the bigger shoots I do, because I have all this incredible gear, all these incredible lenses that I don't need to get rid of. They do a perfectly great job, but what I need is a kit I can carry around all day, every day, and not only make YouTube content, but client work as well. I need something that's versatile, so something that works for both. Obviously, I need something lightweight, and as I already mentioned, protect my back at all costs. I need something powerful. I need something that can match my Sony kit, that can, without any compromises, create great professional looking footage. And the other thing then, I needed to be inconspicuous as well. So not only small, not only powerful, not only lightweight, but I don't want this stuff to stand out. Everything from the bag to the cameras, I don't want it to scream expensive professional gear. And I think I found a pretty good compromise.
Check out my website, there's a link in the description. I do offer services to both businesses and creators, not just producing videos for people, which is a lot of what I do, but also in training people and teaching people how to make the best possible content, make things that reflect them. If you're interested, check that down below. And let's explore this equipment a bit. For one camera, which I think everybody's going to preempt and know that I'm going to talk about, which is going to be replaced very soon, I think, by a lot of people and the manufacturer themselves. Yeah, it's the DJI Osmo Pocket 3 right here, something that I've talked a lot about on this channel and carried around a lot, and no doubt you're going to see some footage from this in this video as well. Don't worry, I'm not going to rant on about this again and again and again. It is an incredibly reliable, incredibly valuable piece of equipment. And if you get the creator combo with it, you know, it comes with the microphone and all that, I absolutely love it. But it was more this setup that I'm actually shooting on now that I wanted to replace. So yeah, I am using my big, heavy Sony camera to shoot this because I wanted to show you the replacement on camera. So let's put this down. Here it is. By the way, just a side note, before I jump into this camera, which I absolutely love, and I've got more rigged out for a sort of street photography setup at the moment, but I think you'll still appreciate what it can do, is the other part of my kit here is the iPhone 17 Pro, not the Max. I just found those were too big in my pockets and, you know, form too much of a bulge if you've got it in your clothing pockets. So I decided not to do that. But I'm also using this for monitoring. That's why you saw me glance down there when I put it back down to just make sure it was out of the shot. But using Sony's monitoring control app, I'm not going to bother to let that focus on camera. It's absolutely awesome. It's a function of Sony's cameras that I do love. This camera, however, doesn't have that. It's one of the minor annoyances. They do have an app. It's nowhere near as good as this one, but this is the Fuji X-M5. And what this lacks in an app, and really their app is absolutely abysmal. I hate it, I hate the layout of it. Sorry to start negative, but this beautiful little thing is a stunning camera. It gets stunning results, it's so powerful, and it's so tiny as well. I love how small this thing is. It can literally quite fit into my jacket pocket right here, shacket, jacket, whatever you call this sort of thing, but it can fit into this pocket, but it's incredibly powerful, and paired with the right lenses, you can get absolutely amazing results. And what I've got on at the moment, I had to check that out, the 7 Artisans 25mm f1.8. It's a manual focus lens, so I wouldn't use it for self-filming so much, this particular lens. But this tiny little camera has been an absolute godsend. It just, even with the lens on it, weighs almost as much as the lens I've got on my Sony at the moment, and actually filmed a couple of jobs with it already. I've got some fantastic B-roll for clients, which really worked really well. Intercutting with Osmo Pocket 3s, my own Sony setups, much larger setups, FX6s and those sorts of things, and from other people I was working alongside, and this cut alongside all that stuff remarkably well. I'm really, really happy with it. One of the things I absolutely love about this camera as well is that straight out of camera, the film simulations for the stills. And to be completely honest, I've been using film simulations for a lot of the video stuff I've done from it as well, and gotten fantastic results. I'll put some of the stuff on screen right now. I've got from the recent shoot I did with my wife Amy for promotion for her book, How to Forging a Sword. Yes, we made a sword. It was absolutely awesome. I'm not going to dive too much into that video. I've got a short on that. Definitely check that out. I shot some of it on the Pocket 3, some of it with this, and just really happy with the results all round. It was really, really fun. I'm gonna head out to some meetings, and I am gonna take this with me for sort of a day out too. So I'll take that on the road with me, film some stuff with this and the Osmo Pocket 3 between different meetings, and show you what that looks like too. It's a fun little camera. It gets really good results. I keep going to go like that and look through a viewfinder. I didn't think I would. I didn't think I was one of those people who was very viewfinder reliant, but yeah, it's interesting. I might buy one of those little hot shoe ones, just like a optical viewfinder, and see what I can do with that. So pausing a little bit before my next meeting and sitting on these stairs, and I just thought it was a nice backdrop and a nice place to sit. Looks like someone important's going by. This is going to be an interesting little test. This is like the first piece to camera I guess I've done for this video on the XM5, and quite challenging situation, but I guess it's the biggest sensor of the cameras I'm shooting on, notwithstanding the A7 IV, so for some shots at home. And quite an interesting situation for the camera because there's lots of sunlight, clouds moving past. I'm also testing out the mics on it. There's this inbuilt mic here, and I'm wearing a DJI mic too, just because I'm not sure I trust the Fuji completely, even though I am quite close to it on a wide lens. But it'd be interesting to see the results it gets. This dynamic range looks really good as well. I don't think I'm shooting analog, and I kind of wish I was actually, because it would give you quite a good indication of what it's capable of. I think, yeah, it's quite a challenging scenario, so I probably shouldn't have shot with a film sim, should I? Anyway, look, it's a really good test of the film sim, nostalgic neg, to see how that goes in these sorts of situations. And I'm probably not gonna switch out of it, to be honest. I want to see how it goes. This is the test of this kit, and you know, before I take it on something that could potentially be a client shoot, I need to make sure it kind of does the job, I guess. These things hold up really well. Look, it's really easy to reach in, it's really easy to grab stuff out of it. I'm about to head to a client meeting now, and I always look a little bit underdressed compared to everybody else in a client meeting because of the very casual look and approach I take to things. But I think this just elevates the look slightly as well, the casual kind of creative look I have a little bit. I think McKinnon bag, especially after it's been out on the road a lot, it looks a bit rough and ready, and I've got stuff stuck to it. I'm gonna try and keep this very clean as my sort of like professional piece I can carry around. Really interested to see, the wind is very strong. I'm interested to see, even if the DJI mic under my clothing is dealing with that. I don't think this thing is going to cope with that well at all. But yeah, fun times. I have got to run to a meeting now because I've got like minutes to spare. That's how I roll, on the knife's edge. Everybody's always late for these meetings anyway, so it's never a problem, but I like to be on time. I think the really important part of this for me, regardless of what kit you choose, is knowing that you can get fantastic results that cut really well with other stuff from very cheap budget cameras. The Fuji XM5 there is £799. It's insane how cheap it is. And you can get some fantastic glass, some fantastic lenses to put on the front of that and get incredible results. And I think it's such an underrated camera. There was a real sort of excitement about it when it first came out from sort of people in the filmmaking community. And I think since then you've had like Nikon ZRs, you've had Canon C50s, you've had all sorts of other stuff coming in overshadowing this a bit. Sony are about to make it or break it with the a7 IV launch. Who knows what's going to happen there? But at this particular time, I think the Fuji X-M5 is one of the most compelling packages for a really small, really compact camera. But you get this crazy 6.2K open gate. You get F-Log 2, get some debatable, some questionable features with some of the microphones and stuff that are built in. I'll still be using my Rodes or the DJI mics and that sort of stuff. But the picture quality you get out of that thing, the lens choice for it, it's absolutely stunning. And in my mind, it's the closest at the moment in the mirrorless camera world, the full-size APS-C, not full frame, but full-size mirrorless camera world that has full capabilities. It's the closest to an action camera in size and price, but with the features of a fully featured, you know, practically cinema camera. And people are out there building out cinema rigs for this thing. My goal with it isn't to make it bigger. With that camera, if I want a bigger camera, I'll use a bigger camera and I'll just deal with that and have all the stuff built in. My goal with the Fuji X-M5 is to have the most compact camera with the highest possible quality results, and I've just loved it so far for that. Okay, so that's the Fujifilm X-M5. It's a beautiful little camera, not without its faults, but I think every single camera out there has some faults, has some points that you could probably get frustrated with and disagree with if you wanted to, but on the whole, it is a beautiful looking, really fun to use, really fun to carry little camera, and I've been loving the photos and the videos I've been getting out of this thing. Anyway, so I'll put that down for a second. The other really big part of this then, and I've alluded to this a lot in other videos, is that I needed a smaller bag to carry things. Smaller than the 25-litre Peter McKinnon bag that is my daily driver for shoots, but something smaller and lighter. And for a while I'd been carrying around the 15-litre Peak Design zip bag. I've shoved it in a cupboard somewhere, I don't even know where I've put it. And I do like that bag, but I've always found at the end of the day, I'm a bit uncomfortable and my back hurts when I'm carrying that. And obviously after a back injury now, that was particularly important. I needed to find something that I felt fit more in when I was going to sort of more corporate meetings, going to the City of London, going into corporate setups. The way I dress is always fairly casual, although I probably wouldn't go dressed like this to a meeting. And that if I'm looking quite casual when I go into these corporate settings, that the way I sort of even accessorize, if that makes sense, sort of adds a kind of professional edge and looks quite clean and quite minimal, and that the bags and things that I'm carrying don't look too messy. And I've been really struggling to find something that sort of fit in with that aesthetic. It's a very hard balance to achieve. I probably haven't completely achieved it. I'm sure behind the scenes my corporate clients are going, God, he looks homeless. I hope not. But you know, there's this tough balance. Anyway, so after scouring the internet, after sort of posting about it and asking people for their advice in the comments, this company actually saw one of my videos and reached out, and they said, hey, can we send you a bag? And I was like, okay, sure, cool. I'm gonna test it out first. I'm not just gonna give you a glowing review because you've sent me something, but they did. And here it is, it's the Maverick & Co. I think this is the earthen recycled leather backpack. And look at it, it's really kind of compact. It's much, much smaller than the Peter McKinnon bag. I should have had the Peter McKinnon over here to show you them side by side. I'm not saying it's better. That is a different bag for a different use case, and it's by far the best bag I've ever had for taking on shoots. But this one is such a cool, compact, perfectly suited to sort of going around in the city type of bag. And when I got it, I was kind of really excited. Plus, you know what? It's made of real leather, and I really appreciate the smell. It's gorgeous. It has that real sort of nice leathery smell, particularly when I got it out of the box. It just smelled absolutely stunning. But I really appreciate the minimal design these guys have. I really appreciate Peter McKinnon. I really appreciate an outside pocket right here, just a quick access pocket that I kind of can drop things into. I've dropped everything from wallets to lenses and stuff on the go with that so far. I'm being really happy with it. But it's a really nice little bag. It's incredibly lightweight as well, and it has a much slimmer profile on my back. When you'll see the vlog, you'll see how sort of slim it is actually on my back. It's got a laptop sleeve here. Now look, Maverick, I've got one gripe with this. I notice you sell a sleeve for laptops to go with this bag. And what that means is the laptop section here isn't padded at the bottom. It's padded at the back and the bit that borders the bag, but not the bottom. That's one small design flaw, and it's a small thing. I've just taken to shoving a t-shirt on the bottom of it so that if I throw my bag down on the ground or on the tube or something like that, there's not that thunk and I feel like I'm gonna damage my, you know, £2,500 MacBook Pro, which I don't wanna do. That's my only gripe with this bag really though. Other than that, it's really comfortable. It's really lightweight for something that's all made of leather. I actually stopped buying leather bags because I had this huge, great big fossil satchel thing and it looks absolutely stunning. It's one of the most wonderful, crafted looking bags I've ever seen. It's very protective, but it was so heavy that like it actually added almost like, you know, seemingly kilos or pounds if you're American, to all the stuff you already had in the bag. And this one, despite being real leather, is so lightweight, and I do really appreciate that. I'll just open the main compartment here, because I mean, I guess that's one of the things I really appreciate about this. I'm probably gonna have to film some B-roll, because it's kind of hard to show you this on camera. There we go. I've got a few of the bits and bobs I carry around in there. I've got my PGY Tech Mantis Pod. I've got my son's notebook and pencil case. I also carry around my own notebook in here. I think it's on the table behind me over there now. I've got the Osmo Pocket 3 case, which I've been keeping in there. And I've also got, oh my God, you've got to check these out. These are amazing. And these go so well with the Fuji X-M5. No, it's not a box of film. Well, that looks like Fuji film, doesn't it? But this is from TT Artisan, the competitors to 7. I read their backstory, by the way. It's so funny. It's a bunch of people who formed 7 artisans together, had a falling out, and now they compete. I love it. It's like Aldi. Anyway, look that up. It's a funny story. This little thing that looks like a roll of film is it's an RGB light. And check this out, if I hold my finger down on it, it cycles through all the different colors here. So I'm probably making myself look sick with all the different colors. But how cool is that? I really appreciate this cool little thing. Look, it's not the brightest of lights, but you can see it's overriding like my 60-watt light that I've got lighting my face up there. Sort of even at sort of an arm's length distance. So it's pretty decent. I really like this. I mean, I've got just a standard warm to cool one as well in there, which looks like a roll of Kodak film. So I love these little things. It's such a cool little accessory. It's got a little magnetic mount that goes onto your camera as well. It's so much fun. But yeah, this bag's got all sorts of little cool sections in it. Here's another little thing I got. This Viltrox pancake lens. It's an f5.6 for the Fuji X-M5. I need to spend some more time with that, but it's a cool little lens. But yeah, look, this bag has got some really cool compartments in it. There's plenty of organization. One thing I do like as well, right at the top, I don't know if you can see it here. It's got these 2 little clips. And it's got like a key ring chain. I've actually added a little peak design thing, but what I've actually been doing with the XM5, I got these Viltrox like hand strap. I do want to get like a plain hand strap, but I can actually use the hand strap to connect to this little ring up here. And then even if I've not got the Fuji in my pocket, I can open my bag and it's kind of hanging just there. I mean, because that little tripod I showed you is in a padded pocket, they don't bang on each other. So it's got really quick access to the Fuji, which is really nice. Instead of having to sort of reach into a padded section, I found I can just really quickly reach in, unhook that, and it's kind of in my hand, ready to go. And if I think I'm gonna keep shooting with it, that's not quick access, but it's just a really interesting, novel place to sort of keep the camera that I hadn't done in any other bag. Also because this doesn't have like the shelf that one has at the top of it. What do they call it? The loft, I think. It's a really nice, easy, quick way to sort of access things. So you're really happy with this. One of the other features that it has that I really like that sort of matches the Peter McKinnon bag is it stands up on its own, and this one actually even has feet, which is really, really cool. Anyway, look, that's the Maverick & Co. earthen leather bag, as I mentioned. Such a cool bag. Been really impressed with that. They've got quite a nice line of bags. I keep talking about the laptop. I should probably tell you what it is. I've got the, whoop, here it is over here behind me. This is the, yeah, I've got another Peter McKinnon sticker on it. Sorry, I do love his stuff. I've also got his hat hanging over there on my light stand, which I love. You've probably seen me later on in the video with it, I think. This is the 14-inch MacBook Pro though. I've got a little 2 terabyte hard drive attached to that as well, because I was editing a project. But this is such a nice laptop. It's so compact, so powerful. I couldn't ask for more. I probably could, you know, but I don't know. I don't need any more. I've been really happy with it. It deals with all the large files. I was dealing with 8K 360 files at a trade show recently, and I was really happy with how it handled those. In fact, it was the only laptop in there that could handle them, which was amazing to see. Amongst all these other laptops that these clients of mine had and the other videographers had, mine was the only one that could deal with those files, which was really nice. And I've just loved it so far for that. So yeah, really, really cool. Let's head to the vlog. One of the things I do when I come out a lot is I try to make little diversions and come to places like parks like this. This is the beautiful Green Park in central London, and it's very near Buckingham Palace. In fact, if I spin around here, Buckingham Palace, famed residence of the monarchs of the UK, whether you like them or not, is just right over there where I just pointed. So yeah, look, it's an absolutely lovely place. It's beautiful. Oh, look at this. Beautiful sun cascading through the leaves. I absolutely love the light at this time of year before it starts to get really, really, really cold, and I can still go around dressed like this, which is really nice. So look, what I do is I tend to come to places like this, and then I'll, you know, schedule a work call and like sit in the park. And a lot of people like to sort of see you in nice places. I found it's quite interesting when I'm on calls. People kind of vicariously live through you, which is a lot of fun. Let me get some beauty shots of this bag in this park with this beautiful sunlight. It's really nice. But yes, this Maverick bag is really comfortable. But you know what I'm really digging? So I'm actually really surprised, like, because I've always been a fan of iPhone photography, but this thing is really shaping up to be a huge upgrade. It is 5 years. I probably should expect like a leap in specs, but particularly the zoom lenses and the quality they get, it's been very impressive. I've just got some amazing shots coming down here before. It's blown me away a little bit and making me sort of question the XM5 to some degree. I'm not sure I'm the type of person who'd go out on shoots with a rigged up iPhone, whereas I'm still quite happy to, you know, take something like an XM5 and almost do a cinema rig out of it, because you can put, you know, really good lenses on it and adapt PL to it and that sort of stuff. Not that I really, you know, hire many PL lenses, but yeah, the iPhone 17 is really, it punches above its weight with the footage and with the photography too. Just both of them really, really strong, because yeah, the footage is just really nice. The colors come out really nicely. Not that this thing does badly. I've got it in its standard color profile because, you know, I don't want to have to do too much editing on it, on this footage. I think I'm shooting everything on standard color profile today, but for the purposes of this rant, I might get some Apple log on my iPhone. It does take up a lot of space. I've actually got a dedicated hard drive in my backpack just for that, to plug in to get Apple log if I need it. I think I might actually require that to record that. So we'll have a look, I'll see what happens, and maybe I'll update you in the edit and show you that footage. Other thing I've been really interested to try, and this is going to be an interesting test because this is on the selfie camera on the iPhone, is they've got this open gate sensor on here now, and this actually shoots in Apple log as well. I mean, so it's like flat on the screen, so it's really difficult to tell how that's going to look. I need to actually check and see. At a glance here, it doesn't look as though it's doing much stabilization, so I think this might be quite shaky. Maybe I'll stand still and just do like a actually be interested to see how it handles that stabilization, because it looks really shaky on the screen when I do that moving stuff. And actually then this is great, because there's going to be a hell of a lot of dynamic range with this sun right here right now, to be able to test the dynamic range of that and what that looks like. Anyway, keep moving. I am actually bouncing between meetings and off to another client meeting, but I've got like 20 minutes to kill. Another little Apple log clip. One of the interesting things the camera keeps doing while it's doing that is it says it's like freeing up resources or something like that. I'm assuming this is storage space or maybe the RAM on the phone. But yeah, it's not very clear what it's actually doing. It's an odd kind of decision for Apple to make. So it's one of those things I'm going to have to go and look up, and it keeps trying to sort of prompt me or give me a prompt to go to the storage settings of the phone, which when I do, looks like there's lots of storage. So I do need to look into that and see exactly what that is trying to prompt me to do. Because yeah, one of those odd decisions for Apple. I'm a loaded gun. Someone asked me the other day, and I'm just jumping on between that and actually going into that meeting. Someone asked me the other day, sort of in these videos, why am I running around London sort of going to all these meetings? You know, haven't I heard of Teams or Zoom? And yes, of course I have, and I use those a lot, but got to be mindful of the roads. So yep. Of course I use Teams and Zoom, but you know, somebody who works largely from home, it really makes a big difference when you go out and see people for the client relationships, that sort of stuff. So look, I do try and get out to as many in-person meetings as I can when people are either visiting London, based in London, any of that sort of stuff. I love flying to other countries for them as well, but I don't think most of my clients would pay for me to fly to their various HQs. So yeah, I get out into London when I can and actually just enjoy it. It's such a nice, fun city to get around. And look, despite all the media it gets, you know, London's collapsing, all of that, yada, yada, yada. It's filled with crime. There is crime. You've got to be careful. There are pickpockets. You've got to be careful. I'm looking around right now to make sure no one snatches this thing from my hand, and I've got the wrist strap sort of tightly around me. But yeah, you've got to live a little. Look, no, and it's insured. But on top of that, you can't let it stop you from sort of enjoying the place you live. I've got to live here too. Pretty astounding how good this zoom is. Back all the way to the super wide. 1 times, 2 times, 4 times. How good is that? That looks so good. Great iPhone mic test, but just because I was pointing it at that particular side and I realized it's like a historic landmark around here. Yeah, not where I'm going for my meeting. It's been an absolutely whirlwind day, and I'd hope to shoot a lot more of this and capture a lot more kind of this footage of me going around with this thing and sort of showing you how it's been. But it's actually been very comfortable. It's definitely not causing that strain on my back that I've experienced from the Peak Design bags, which is really, really good. After a day out, I thought I'd jump back on camera and share some thoughts because some really interesting stuff came up. You'll probably see there that one of the highlights, I should have got it out already, was the iPhone 12. Not even the iPhone 12. What I upgraded from was the iPhone 12, the iPhone 17 Pro, long day. The iPhone 17 Pro, the quality is fantastic. I shot those test shots. I still haven't properly checked those out other than on the screen on the back of my phone as I was on the way back. But I was really happy with what I was getting. So I'm going to throw them into the editor and, you know, I'll put a thumbs down on screen if I was completely wrong about it and those shots were rubbish. So just following up on that, shooting on the Fuji again, giving it a chance because I just love it so much. And isn't this footage gorgeous? This is manual focus lens, so I hope I am in focus. But one of the things I noticed about the iPhone log footage is I actually preferred the standard footage. I think it was probably because of the conditions I was using it in, but when I was walking down the mall there with the sun shining behind me, I kind of didn't like the way that that Apple log footage with the official LUT anyway handled the highlights and stuff like that, and I kind of struggled to bring those back in a way that looked like natural at all. So that was really interesting, and Fuji definitely does a better job with that sort of thing. You could see from those shots on the stairs. So yeah, really interesting one. Obviously not writing the iPhone off. You know, filmmakers like Danny Boyle have used it, but there's definitely a massive difference in the way it deals with certain types of light compared to like a camera like this. Anyway, just an added thought. But I still do enjoy the footage. But yeah, the standard colors are great out of it anyway with that camera. Yeah, I'm really impressed with this, and I think the street photography shots I got with that as well, you know, just shooting photos, I was really happy with. There was a moment out there where I was like, oh, Fuji XM5, are you gonna stay in my kit? And look, to be fair, after sort of playing with this lens a little bit more, I definitely think it is. It's a beautiful little camera. I love the images that are coming out of that. Again, that shot of me on the steps, haven't properly sort of looked at it on a bigger screen, but I did transfer it over using the app to my phone and had a look at it, and I was really happy with that. I really like the colors that the XM5 gives. Don't forget that was shot not in F-Log or anything, but on nostalgic neg in the film simulation. The fact that you can get that stuff straight out of camera, just like you can with this, and get incredible results and not have to do too much to it and just use the Fuji film sims is absolutely insane. So look, this was a huge standout for me, but I do love this camera with this lens too, and I know that I'm going to be getting a lot of use out of that. And that's what makes it interesting. Sort of really my combo is going to become sort of 1, 2, and 3 cameras, which I think is kind of awesome to have the versatility of 3 separate cameras, can have whatever lens I want on this, all the combinations you get on here, the rad stabilization here, or again, the action mode on this is kind of crazy too, but the form factors are different. So, you know, they're good for different things and can mount in different places. this has got my life on it. Like, practically speaking, people talk about being able to put this anywhere, but I don't want to mount a phone onto something. I don't want to leave it standing on a tripod somewhere because it's got my banking, it's got my emails. It's like a computer I use that can also film, log footage, which is insane as well. And also back to a mention to this thing as well. Thank you so much, the Maverick people who sent it to me. It's really, really cool. I really dig the bag, apart from the padding in the laptop area, which I think when I was out, I forgot I had the laptop on me because the bag is so light, it kind of makes you forget you're carrying stuff, but there is still a bit of padding in there, but it's just that bit of padding at the bottom I wish they had. I'm using a t-shirt, but there was a point where I kind of like threw it down on the ground in a cafe to jump onto a call. I didn't even have time to pull the laptop out, but I heard a thunk and then realized, oh God, that's my laptop. It's in there. And I was kind of scared for a second, but the MacBook Pro is fine. The organization in it is really cool. Love this bag. So look, yeah, that is my minimal setup, and I'm kind of really happy with that stuff. I'll put links to everything down below. And look, if you are interested in checking out sort of my tips for framing things on camera, using audio, check out the playlist I'm going to put somewhere up on the sides here and link down below in the description as well. Because really all that stuff, when people overlay it on screen and act clever and point at stuff, it depends on the device you're on. On mobile, that doesn't work at all. So it will be linked somewhere, probably on a thing on screen, or if not, down below in the description. Thanks so much for watching. Take care. Love you. See you next time. Bye.
When you say you miss me, tell it to my lips and I will kiss you, just like I used to. When you say you miss me, tell it to my eyes and I will look at you, just like I used to.